Hold on tight. This is the Generic Live Show.
Hour 2! As I check if my microphone's unmuted, hour 2 of the program. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for us Tuesday. For Tuesday. I did it! I said Sunday! And it's on Sunday! Hour 2 of the program. Thanks for joining us. It's Al Campbell here with you for the Generic Live Show. We're here on a Tuesday. Thank you everyone for sticking with us through the show. Talking about plastic bag ban earlier on. Rubber Band Man says, I just do it myself. The stories in the US hardly pay people to bag. All the lanes have the same one bagger who runs from lane to lane. It saves the company money. Why have one person do the job of 6? That's really weird that people would run from lane to lane. That seems very stressful. Running from lane to lane to bag. I mean, okay. This is not how I wanted to start the hour, but we run with it. We flow with it. Here, the checkout people at the grocery store do the bagging as well. So we check out the items and do the bagging at the same time. So, you know, we do all the bagging and we do it all ourselves, which can also cause havoc as well, because we got to get through as many customers as we can, whilst bagging. So there you go, little inside tip into grocery stores in Australia. You never thought you would stumble upon this. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hour 2 of the program. Thanks for joining us. We got a jam-packed show planned for you today. Man purged on Harbour Bridge for 5.5 hours causes traffic chaos across Sydney. On Wednesday, I believe this was. Man in custody, or in custard. He's in custard. He's in deep custard. Man in custard. Beep, 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 beep. Breaking news. Man in custard. Man in custard. This show is such a mess sometimes, and I love it. Man in custard gets himself in some jelly. That's great. Jelly and custard, the classic combo. Man in custody after he scaled the Sydney Harbour Bridge, causing traffic chaos on Wednesday's morning peak hour traffic. This image, though, let's just show this image real quick. Look at that. The thing that worries me is that he's wearing headphones. He scaled the Sydney Harbour Bridge wearing headphones. That's a better picture. Man in custard. So they're the SWAT team getting this unidentified man off the Sydney Harbour Bridge. The 43-year-old man from Woolloomooloo, of course, he's from Woolloomooloo, climbed 75 meters up the bridge, had significant mental health issues, and was motivated to scale the Sydney Harbour Bridge due to a family issue. So more is unleashed on this story since the last time I saw it yesterday. So, we have lots of developing stories. This episode's going to be a nightmare to chase up. The man, who was known to police for more than 5 hours, he was seen by operators in the Harbour Bridge CCTV room shortly after 4:23 a.m. when he rode his push bike into lane 1, dismounted, and scaled the fence of the rail corridor. From there, he climbed the pylon up onto the beams of the bridge, walking up and down between lanes 1 and 4. Police rescue officers followed him onto the bridge. It was difficult to reach him because he kept moving, police said. Rubber Band Man says, it worries me that he was wearing wearing bell bottoms. That's true. I mean, at least he was wearing some sort of like long pants. I think what would have worried me more is if he wasn't wearing any sort of gear. This person looks like he was, like, he set out to intentionally scale the bridge. Officers closed lanes on the bridge around the men, and he was arrested on the bridge framework just before 10 a.m. So this standoff between him and the officers lasted for 5.5 hours. Let's see what this video is. It's probably going to play a commercial, because that's what we do here on the Jack Live Show. Go! No? Okay. Meanwhile, other lanes were and he hid in this area here. Like, I don't know if you can see him in that corner there. You probably can't, but he is sticking out there a little bit. So he obviously went in there. The thing that's questioning me is that's puzzling me is if he had any intentions to jump or not. If he had, I'll refresh this page. If he had intentions to jump, he should have been wearing parachute pants. That's a good point. Like, bring it fully back. Traffic continued to be delayed all throughout the day, reportedly. This is a story of a girl that won't load. Anyway, that'll interrupt us when we're talking. Today's operation was very sensitive, deeming a great deal of police resources, said Superintendent Fitzgerald, who was head of operation. Not head of operation, that's the wrong way to put this, but who was head chief of this. The scenario was constantly changing, and police responded to these changes quickly and effectively. We do have this video. The unofficial bridge climb. Officers closed and reopened lanes.
Police negotiation unit were called in and engaged with him for a number of hours, and I'm very thankful for their expertise, and they brought in a very safe and clear resolution to the problem, and the male agreed to leave the pylons of the Harbour Bridge, and he's now in the care of St Vincent's Hospital. The motive of the individual is based on a family issue, which I will not go into detail with. He has got significant mental health issues, which hopefully the expertise of St Vincent's Hospital will address those this morning.
That was Superintendent Fitzgerald talking about the man on the bridge. Now, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I get people have issues, but please do reach out to non-profit organisations. If you have mental health issues, there are lots of resources set out for that. Lifeline is a great one. Here in Australia, you can reach out to them at any time. They're there 24/7. If you have issues, please do talk to them. They are resources. They are there for your assistance. It is anonymous and fully confidential. But I want to address something real quick. This is not the first time that someone has scaled the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Just saying. So, this is the second time in the run of this show that this has happened. So it's a fairly uncommon. It's common enough to be talking about it, but it's uncommon in the stretch of time. But for me, I think more needs to be done to protect this. Meaning, anyone can go up to the Sydney Harbour Bridge and start climbing it, is my point. You know what I mean? Like that, anyone can go and do that. You know, it's open. You know? Again, it's open. You can just go on up and climb it. There's no barriers. There's nothing. I'm not saying that we should electrify the Sydney Harbour Bridge. But would that help with people not climbing it? So, I don't know. I hope this guy from Woolloomooloo is okay. Again, if you have mental health issues, please do seek professional help. It is out there for your convenience. So, there you go. Moving on to something completely different. The Commonwealth Games happened here on the Sunshine Coast. Not the Sunshine Coast, the Gold Coast. Excuse me. The Gold Coast. And Australia won! Woo! Woo! Rubber Band Man said that they should electrify it. I don't know. I feel like they should. Because, or electrify parts of it. But again, if you shock someone, particularly that high, they're gonna fall down. And that's not gonna end well. So, just the base of it, I reckon. 6 foot. There you go. Maybe 7 foot. You never know. The great fence of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Get on it. But the Commonwealth Games were a thing. The Commonwealth Games were a thing, and Australia leading in the medal tally with 50 gold, 38 silver, and 43 bronze, totaling 131. There you go. 131 medals in total. England in second with 25 gold, 30 silver, and 21 bronze, with 76 medals in total. Canada in fourth. USA, where are you? You're not on here, are you, USA? Oh. Oh. Where is New Zealand? As in medal tally or geographic location? New Zealand came fifth with 9 gold, 10 silver, 7th bronze, 26 total. We got Nigeria, Cyprus, Malaysia. It doesn't look like America competed. Vanuatu got a bronze. Vanuatu represent. Put that out and send that to all of your New Zealand friends, because that's a thing I do. That's my bit. I don't know. New Zealand's a fine country. They just have lots of sheep. That's all. They have lots of sheep. Lots and lots of sheep. I hate to tell you that the US is not part of the Commonwealth of the UK. That's true. That's Of course they wouldn't be competing, Dale. And also, I love the fact that I need a chat room to tell me that. I need a chat room to tell me that the US isn't a part of the Commonwealth. Live chat room, you are amazing. You get a round of applause. You really are saving my grass today. But the burning question is, did we beat New Zealand? Yes, Australia beat New Zealand. Not the US though, because they're not part of the Commonwealth. I feel so dumb. I'm so dumb. Why do I have a podcast? I'm so dumb. They give me a podcast and then I'm just a dumbass. I'm just a dumbass. Sometimes. Not all the time. But apparently the opening ceremony was the best thing ever. Was a once-in-a-lifetime spectacular. Apparently. You can tell I put this in the show notes 2 weeks ago. I'm getting now sent love hearts. Thank you. Thank you, guys. The gala welcomes the Commonwealth Games. Dancing lifesavers. Hang on, no, stop. Man in custard. Coming to the Commonwealth Games 20 whatever year the next one are being held. Hey Siri. Hey, girl.
Yes.
When are the next Commonwealth Games?
Sorry, I don't have specific information about that event.
You are well. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Siri doing a fine job on this show. That my producer Siri just really up on the information. Dancing lifesavers, a part of the balancing act that was the Commonwealth Games 2018. Ricky Lee Coulter and Delta Goodrum singing in the sand. Wait, were they singing on the sand or in the sand? Cause I look like this with sand in their mouth. Hi, I'm Delta Goodrum. I sound a lot like what about the and a giant white whale floating across the Canberra Stadium will shine the world's Gold Coast opening ceremony, marking the best Commonwealth Games ever. To be fair, this photo does look pretty good. This photo does look good. To be fair, Rubber Band Man says, to be fair, we would have been, but we got uppity and wanted our own space. You wanted your own games with blackjack and hookers. You know, you have that. It's called Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't know if you've heard of it, but there are games going on there all the time, I hear. I hear that Las Vegas is a place for games. Man, so many quotable lines today. I'm just filled with knowledgeable information. The indigenous stuff, and I don't understand what's happening in this picture. This is great for audio listeners, but I don't quite understand what's happening in this photo. I mean, if you want to sing a bunch along with a whole bunch of reject actors from Olivia Newton-John's Physical, but this time in the sand and on surfboards, that's fine. But I don't understand why there is such thing as dancing lifesavers. I mean, if they can dance, that's fun. Margot Robbie and Chris Hemsworth. Oh, don't switch back. I just wanted to look at Chris Hemsworth for a while. There you go. There they are. The two most prettiest Australians, side by side. Boom. I mean, there are other pretty Australians. As we go. What other photos are... Oh, there's opening ceremony. Here we go. Let's look at this. This will probably pay an ad. It will. Alright, well. While that's loading... Man, lots of ads on this generic live show that aren't mine. But yeah, I hear the Commonwealth Games was good, and we actually got a bit of it up here as well. We hosted all of the basketball games up where I live. I unfortunately didn't get to see any of it, but I hear that the basketball, particularly against Australia versus New Zealand, we have a rivalry going on against New Zealand, so anytime we get to beat New Zealand at a rugby game, at a basketball game rather, it's a whole bunch of fun. Alright, here is the first look at the Commonwealth Games opening.
Special role in the ceremony. Some big names being thrown around as VIP guests, including
there's the
Margot
Dancing
Robbie. They
Lifesavers.
tried to keep it fairly local to people who were raised in Queensland. Chris Hemsworth, of course, who lives up in Byron Bay. There is some suggestion down in Byron Bay whether he'll play a role. Keith Urban also.
Oh yeah,
one
Keith
of the big
Urban's
names
Australian.
being bandied about as one of the VIP guests. So all will be revealed tomorrow evening as 35,000 people pack the stadium. We cannot wait for the opening ceremony of the Gold Coast Games.
Indeed. Whoa. Whoa, Inception! Inception! Course Romano says, and always rivalry in every sport ever. Exactly. Even croquet. You wouldn't think that New Zealand and Australia would be so rivalry in a game of croquet, but here we are. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after messages from our sponsors, but stay tuned because the show is going to get even more interesting about a conversation about a lady who got disgruntled over a video, and we'll tell you what she did to retaliate. This news story, I really don't want to talk about it, but you have to do what you have to do. I'm Dale Campbell, I'm here for the Generic Live Show. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned.
This Geeko podcast network is proudly sponsored by Think Geek. Think Geek is the biggest online retailer of all things geeky. That's right, everything geeky. And they stock the biggest brands in geekiness like Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Minecraft, Legend of Zelda, Marvel, Game of Thrones, DC Comic, and Geek Labs. And they sell a whole bunch of things like collectibles, electronics and gadgets, t-shirts and apparel, gifts. They sell it all over at Think Geek. And they have free shipping on orders over $75 or a flat $6.95 US standard shipping to all places in the US. So when you're ready to check out the range over at Think Geek, the online geek superstore, just use our link to go over to Think Geek over at geek-io.net/thinkgeek. That gives us a little bit of a kickback on what you buy. Don't worry, we're not stealing your shoe size or asking you for a blood sample. It's okay. We're only getting a kickback from what you buy. We don't actually see what you buy from Think Geek. Join in, geek out, Think Geek. We thank Think Geek for their support of the Geek.io podcast network.
Generic Live Show is sponsored by Tweaked Audio. With 7 styles and 7 colors, there are mic'd and non-mic'd options available. Designed to sound great with music and talk and engineered for durability. All options come with a lifetime guarantee and a noise-reducing design. Compatible with all of your devices, even those weird Windows phones. We have an exciting offer just for you. If you use our coupon code GEEK at checkout, you'll receive a third off your order plus free worldwide shipping. Head on over to tweakedaudio.com to check out the range. And when you're ready to order, use coupon code GEEK, that's G-E-E-K, GEEK, at checkout for a third off and free worldwide shipping. We thank Tweaked Audio for their support. Are part of a balanced breakfast and proud members of the Geek.io podcast network. This is the Generic Live Show. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Sunday. It's Dale Campbell here with you. We're doing it for Geek.io. Thanks. I said Sunday again, didn't I? No! I said Sunday again. That's like 3 times an hour. I've referenced a day that it's not. Man, we're really in the future if we're at Sunday already. Ladies and gentlemen, we call that muscle memory. Or we call that Dale's not allowed to take a day off. Yes, we also fight like Scots and England do. They get very competitive when we play. And of course, Rona mentioned that during the ad break that she was out here with Kiwi in 2015. That would have been awesome. Here you go. Oh. That's amazing. Alright, well, thanks for joining us here on a Tuesday on the Generic Live Show. How are you? Are you doing well? Are you comfortable? Good. You can find this show on YouTube at youtube.com. Okay, I don't know how to set up this next story. Okay. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Because honesty is the best part of this show. I love the fact that I can be honest with everyone on this show. I haven't had this in a long time. This story has been on and off the run sheet more times than what I can count. I actually did not want to talk about this story at all. And if you've been following the news recently, you wouldn't blame me, and I'm getting a little warmed up because of it. And I pushed it back. It was the first story we were going to be talking about, and then it got bumped off, and then it got moved to hour 2, and it got bumped off, and it's been on and off the run sheet all day. But it's the shooting that happened at YouTube recently. Now, we've got, courtesy of the Los Angeles Times, we've got this short video that kind of encapsulates a lot of it at once. So we're going to play this video for you. Some of them, I'm not prefacing this audio, but again, we're dealing with a person who open-fired, technically a mass shooting. So there you go. We're going to show this video to you. Courtesy of the Los Angeles Times. And we'll get your thoughts on the back end of this. So here we go.
I'm being discriminated and filtered on YouTube, and I'm not the only one.
Shooter. Another party says they spotted someone with a gun. Suspect came from the back patio. Address is 901 of Bay Hill off of 380. Again, we have a report of subject with a gun. They heard 7 to 8 shots fired. This will be from the YouTube building, 901 Cherry.
2-3 shots. And then like within 30 seconds after that, or 40 seconds after that, then I seen the girl running out, and then she was shot in the leg.
Upon arrival, officers encountered numerous employees fleeing from the building. It was very chaotic, as you can imagine. We did encounter one victim with an apparent gunshot wound towards the front of the business as we arrived. We have one subject who was deceased inside the building with a self-inflicted wound that at this time we believe to be the shooter, but we're still following up on that.
Alright. So, here's my hot take on this. Are you ready for some hot, delicious takes? I feel like I'm being discriminated against on YouTube. YouTube recently changed its terms. No longer accepting grandfathered partnered programs, which did hit this show, and did hit a lot of stuff that on Geek.io to no longer be monetized on YouTube, which is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's not like where we've come adapted to that, and that's why we've got other avenues to make income. But this person's sole thing is on YouTube themselves. Now, I'm not defending this person. Don't think I'm going to go defend this person. Gun violence is terrible. It should stop. It should have stopped ages ago. Mind you, again, bias, lived in a country where we had a gun amnesty ban come into effect the year that I was born, or around the time that I was born. And as a person who has never fired a firearm, I can't really talk on the logistics of firearms themselves. But I will say this. This person doesn't really, you're going to make that connection? Couldn't you just go talk to them? Like, there has to be something else happening here. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be something else going on. So a woman, and again, I'm going to also do the thing that I love doing on this show, and is to not name this person. You know, and also, by the way, I did, apologies if you saw my mixing software. I was trying to mute the address live on the air. That's something I should have done before the show, but you know, we do it live here. We go on the fly. We take this crazy adventure to new levels as we go. So, open fired at YouTube headquarters in San Bernardino, California, shooting 3 people with a handgun before taking her own life. This person lived in San Diego. It was a domestic incident and was targeted. It was a targeted attack. And this is also the thing with this is, how can you say it's discrimination against YouTube itself when it's a targeted attack against, count them with all of your hands, one person. One person. Seems a bit off. That's all. That's all I wanted to. That's my hot take. This story seems there's something missing here. I'm missing something. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just overthinking this story just a little bit. But you can't blame the company if you're going to attack this one person. And again, something that is terrible and shouldn't have happened. But, and I know this will probably aggravate some conversation around this. And again, please do email me, genericliveshow@gmail.com if you disagree or have an opinion, or Discord is also a perfect place as well. You know, it's something that shouldn't have happened. You know, and bringing a firearm into the mix as well isn't going to end well. So, is now looking into the website and appears to show the same woman complaining about YouTube stifling traffic and suppressing videos. The source stressed that the investigation is in its primary stages. Also, my favorite thing in the world is those videos, people complaining about YouTube not getting any traffic, are typically the videos that perform the least, as well, by the way, tongue-tied. You know, again, yeah, the videos where, oh no, I'm being suppressed, oftentimes are the lowest performing videos on those people's YouTube channels. Also, YouTube is an algorithm. It's just one ginormous algorithm as well. And the algorithm stops shining on this person's videos. It happens. Believe you me, it happens. We've had spikes on the Generic Live show where they're very unrealistic spikes, and you know, they're definitely algorithm related. I can relate to that. Very early stages. This woman says, quote, YouTube filtered my channels to keep them from getting views. There is no equal growth opportunity on YouTube or any video sharing site. Your channel will grow if they want to. Social media accounts to the link for the page were deactivated late on Tuesday. A YouTube account linked... This is funny. The YouTube account linked to the page was terminated due to multiple or severe violation of YouTube's policies against spam, deceptive practices, and misleading content or other terms of service violations, according to the streaming video site. About 2 weeks ago, however, this particular individual, which the name is here, again, I'm not saying their name intentionally, vented to her family that YouTube stopped compressing her from her videos, her father told Bay Area News Group. Said that the family called the police to report her daughter missing on Monday because she didn't answer her phone for 2 days. She told police she might be going to YouTube because she quote-unquote hated the company. I don't know. It's a tricky situation. And I'm perfect to talk on this situation myself. A, because I've never been popular enough to really worry about this sort of stuff. And B, wasn't there, okay, refresh my memory, wasn't there some controversy with some guy who went to Japan recently who, I don't know, decided to go camping and vlog his camping trip, who he had to remove that video himself and YouTube didn't remove it for him, but yet removed this particular individual from their gold advertising status or whatever they want to call it? Isn't that a thing? I don't know. This show kind of went off track very quickly. I don't mean to derail the show, and I don't mean to talk from my behind, and I'm pretty sure the chat room would have been onto me like a ton of bricks at the start of this segment to tell me, Dale, shut up. Which has happened on this show before. I've gone to talk about something and the chat room went, shut up. So I did, and I moved on. But, and I don't mean to offend anyone with opinions either. But I just have a feeling that this is just not a reasonable news story. The president came out and tweeted, though. So that's exciting. He said, I'm not showing it on screen. He said, was briefed on the shooting at YouTube HQ. Talk. Oh, excuse me. Talk. No, he didn't say talk. Was briefed. I opened up the time loop. Oh no. He says, was briefed on the shooting at YouTube HQ in San Bernardino, California. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone involved. Thank you for the phenomenal law enforcement officers and first responders who are currently on the scene. That's fair, but not mentioned anything about, 3 people dying, including the person themselves. So that's fun for everyone involved. So, I mean, we've already played the police audio. We don't need to bring that up. We've got some updates though. Whew, this show got heavy. This is going to be a great post show. I just feel it in my bones. The article was updated. The article was updated to say the law described the woman as a woman. There was a woman. And I'll leave that where that is. Because the news cycle had a field day assuming that it was a man. So I'll leave that where that is. And the women of GLS are going to love it. The article was updated with comments from the president. I don't know. People on campus thought it was a drill. Thought that they were getting locked down on a drill. Thankfully, they took the drill very seriously. Otherwise, that definitely could have ended badly. Anyway, now you can see why this story nearly got cut. All right, let's liven it up a little bit. Let's wash that off. Also, I'm really curious about your feedback as well about this. Please do chime in if you've got any feedback. But we're going to move on to what magic words you should say if you want to upgrade your flight. Travel segment. This is according to the Luxury Travel Diary. Last month, this author's inbox was flooded. Was inundated with just 2 words that could get a flight upgrade. What are the 2 magic words? Apparently, revenue management. Okay. This writer was in reality thinking about calling up the airline and whether business class seats were being released for mile upgrades, which you pay for with miles. The title was somewhat misleading. Okay. The truth was, in real compulsory flight upgrades hardly ever happen. Even worse, they are prioritized to those traveling business class extremely regularly. Okay. People who travel in business class regularly are the ones to firstly get upgraded. Firstly? The firstly is a word, but just not in that sentence. So what does work? What's the real secret? You can dress smart. You can look happy. Be nice to staff. But in this writer's experience, those actions don't work at all. I did see one nice girl feature in a BBC program about flights to Australia from London, and she was offered a free upgrade. This was not because she dressed smart and smiled, but it was because she had a BBC film crew filming her in-flight experience. Oh. Wait, she wanted to fly economy for that? The airline wanted you to promote their premium product and gave her upgraded seat. So does this work? You have a good chance of getting a free flight upgrade if you have a BBC record. Yeah, alright, ladies and gentlemen, just email the BBC. Email the BBC and they'll give you a flight crew. They have an easy guide. Oh, there you go. What if did Rubber Band Man says, did they bump the crew as well? I don't know. It doesn't say. Yeah, the crew had to sit in economy though. She got the upgrade, but she couldn't film the upgrade because the crew were back in economy. I'd like to imagine that they bumped the crew up as well. What else you can do is look out for sales. Book any large luxury hotel. This article is really, really weird. No, I want my hotel free too. Well, righto. Luxury travel diary. You're not really helping me. You're not giving me anything to work with here. Also, taking out a free Amex Gold credit card also helps. How about I don't do that ever? How about you just, if you get a free upgrade, you get a free upgrade. Don't pester the airline. Also, hey, luxury travel diary. I've got a tip for you. To getting free upgrades, don't bother the crew. Don't pester for them for an upgrade. Also, have a BBC film crew with you at all times. All times. What else? Yeah. And don't pester them. If they give you an upgrade, they give you an upgrade. Be nice to the crew as well. Being nice to the crew got me a free bottle of wine and a Qantas branded tea towel. So, if you be nice to the crew and be willing to work with them, you can get nice things. It was a nice bottle of wine. I drank the whole thing. Again, I'm such white trash. It was white wine too, so I'm glad I got on the good side of wine. It's from 2014, I believe. So it was nice. And it wasn't a little travel-sized bottle. It was a full bottle that you would pick up at any good liquor store. Travel luxury diary. Why was I dumb enough to put that story in here? Anyway. You can tell I didn't read that story ahead of time. Wow, this is a fun adventure. Alright, as we continue here on the Generic Live Show, we're going to round out the show. And we're going to recap what we learnt on the Generic Live Show this week. I'm Dale Campbell for the Generic Live Show. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned.
This Geek.io Podcast Network program is sponsored by Audible. They're the leaders in digital audiobooks on the internet. Choose from over 100,000 titles across all types of literature, including fiction, non-fiction, and periodicals. Try audible.com now and get your first 30 days of Audible Listener Gold membership plan for free. That's right, free, which includes 1 audiobook credit per month. After your 30-day trial, your membership will renew for just $14.95 per month, so you can continue to receive your audiobook credit per month, plus members-only discounts on all audio purchases. If audiobooks aren't quite your thing, well, that's okay. Audible also have a variety of radio and TV programs and audio versions of magazines and newspapers. There's something for everyone. Check out geek-io.net/audible for all of the details. And we thank Audible for their support of the Geek.io Podcast Network.
Enjoying the show? Want more once we go offline? You can keep the conversation going in the Geek.io Discord over at geek-io.net/discord. Hang out with all of your favorite Geek.io personalities, and if you support our Patreon at patreon.com/geekio, you get exclusive content. Again, keep the conversation alive once we go offline over at geek-io.net/discord. We're here to give you a big dose of genericness. This is the Generic Live Show.
Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show for a Tuesday. It's Dale Campbell here with you. We're doing it for Geek.io. Thanks for joining us here on the Generic Live Show. It's a pleasure as always. Wow. What a show, you guys. We had a great show. I mean, we're going to be doing a little bit of a post-show here if you're sticking around afterwards, but it's been a great show. We've had our ups we've had our downs. I think I said 3 different days that we were at. It's definitely Tuesday. Thanks for joining us here on a Tuesday. What did we learn today? What have we learnt from this show today? We've come so far together over the last 2 hours. What have we taken away from the show today? We've learnt that travel luxury hotels.net. What was it? Luxury travel. That's what it was. Luxury travel kind of provides clickbaity hotels. Oh, if you want flight upgrades, travel with a BBC film crew. That's something we learnt. We learnt that. We learnt that Dale has hot takes about the YouTube shooting. Oh, controversial. Don't keep sandpaper in your pocket ever. Yep, that's a good one, Rubber Band Man. That's one thing we also learnt. Don't keep sandpaper in your pocket. Unless... Or on your pocket. Sorry, I read that as in. You're fine. I read that as in. Australia's democracy is indeed broken. And we don't know how to fix it. We discovered that it is broken and needs handyman work done to it. I was about to read something that we didn't get to in the actual show, so that would have been helpful. We learnt that in 1996, September 1996 is when the Nintendo 64 came out. We learnt that. That was a good romp through time. We also learnt that supermarkets across Australia are banning plastic bags, and some stores are bringing it earlier than the promised July 1st. We learnt that. We learnt that in America there's one person that moves between lanes to bag items. I seriously didn't know that. We learnt that don't wear apple bottoms when don't wear apple bottoms when scaling the bridge. We need to electrify the Sydney Harbour Bridge. We also learnt, Rubber Band Man points out in the chat, we also learnt that the US is not a part of the Commonwealth. Oh man, that was a really dumb moment, right? That's just not me. Australia beat New Zealand in the Commonwealth Games. We also learnt that. The US is not in the Commonwealth, thusly did not compete in the Commonwealth Games. Oh, I forgot to mention this though. I didn't get a chance to meet him, but Prince Charles was in town. Prince Charles came up here, left Camilla in Brisbane and came up here by himself. Then I could do more hot takes, but I think I'm going to land myself in some hot water already, so I don't need that. We also learnt that this is all out of order, but we also learnt that the cricket vice captain is going to pay for it, in quote unquote, whatever paying for it means in that term of phrase. And that's about it. We didn't really learn anything else. That's enough. That's enough. We had an educational experience. So there you go. You can find this show, we air normally Sundays at 5:30 PM Eastern over at twitch.tv/geekio. YouTube.com/geekio show is where you can watch the archives back of this. If you want the pre-show and post-show in RSS as well, you can find that at patreon.com/geekio is where you can support everything on that. And you can join our Discord at geek-io.net/Discord. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me, actually, if you have an interest in following me and what I do, you can at twitter.com/TheDaleCampbell. It's TheDaleCampbell. Hey. Hey you. How about you calm down? Alright. Just to get that message off the screen. Oh, I can time him out too. How about we do that too? There you go. We didn't learn that today though. So that's not something we learnt today. Cool down. Alright. We're going to kick it to the post show. It's been a pleasure as always. I've been Dale Campbell and we'll see you on Sunday for another fun-filled festival. Until then, I'm Dale Campbell. I will always continue to be Dale Campbell until I go to the courthouse and spend $50. Bye!
And I hope you've enjoyed this GK Media Network production. Copyright 2018, you see how that works?
Yeah.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this.
Hey, take two.